Hello, big persons. This is a video just for you. Probably your little folks are not interested in this. So today we are talking about it's okay to invite your inner critic to the table, which kind of seems like a bizarre heading, but further explain it. But first of all, before I go any further, I just want to thank you so much for raising up these little gems. You are so important in your village. So thank you very much for all that you're doing. So it's okay to invite your inner critic to the table. So here's where I'm going with this. You've got your table laid with your kids, your family at it, and it's all laid out. It's all prepared, and at your table, you're working towards those hopes and dreams for your kids. The to be healthy and happy and connected and all that you want. Like I said, all that your hopes and dreams for your babes. So at the table, I say it's okay to invite your inner critic. If you're anything like me, your inner critic is very loud and they're going to keep showing up at the table. So I say, why not just invite them to the table? And with your inner critic, you just say, thank you. I appreciate you being here at the table. And I understand that you are here just trying to protect me and put up some of those layers. So thank you for being here, inner critic, but I'm just choosing not to listen to you right now. So that's sort of where I'm going with that. And also I kind of wanted to address lots of conversations that I've had with folks about that feeling of judgment, of continually being judged for who you are, for the person you are, for the way you're parenting, you are in the workplace, just, for living and being. So I kind of wanted to address that. And I was thinking a lot of that has to do with the inner critic kind of bouncing out and trying to be fed all the time. So let's just look at parenting, like caregiving, and looking at the critics there. When you are raising up your babes, it is amazing where opinions come from. It seems like everybody's got opinion of what you should or shouldn't be doing with parenting. Sometimes perfect strangers. I just remember, being at the mall or the grocery store with my 4 lovely, well-behaved children, maybe not, and hearing things like, boy, that I'd have that boy on Ritalin, or that girl just needs a really good spanking. And I have no room at my table for those folks. But the problem is that my inner critic pops up and says, yeah, like you should have those kids under control. And really, what is control, and why do I even want that for my children, and why do I even think that I could control them? I want them to be their own selves and have their own ideas and their own opinions. And here's my kid that, should be on Ritalin. He is curious and busy, and how wonderful is that? And my daughter that, needed to have a spanking, she really wanted that toy, and I said she couldn't have it. So why shouldn't she lose her ever-loving mind, right? So if those folks are not at your table living and breathing this 24/7 thing that you're doing and raising up these healthy, happy, wonderful kids, so those folks, I'm not interested in their opinion. Some other kind of things with me, maybe going to a park and bringing again those 4 lovely, well-behaved children at I can't even say without laughing. But seeing some folks that I know across the way and thinking that they're looking at me and talking about, yeah, look at poorly behaved kids they are. Like, why is she letting that kid climb up the tree? And look at this one over here. And boy, like what a lousy mom she is. When that's again my inner critic popping up and saying and judging me and saying, yeah, you should be doing a better job with this whole parenting thing. And and maybe they aren't even looking at me and talking about me, but that's how I'm feeling. And maybe even if they are, again, those are some folks that um, because they're raising kids like the same age as you, and you figure that they're in it, you figure that they have a place at at your table, but they have their own table. Um, and maybe their judgment of that is coming from a place of their inner critic trying to protect them and showing that they're a good parent by, at least they're not doing that kind of stuff, right? So that could be their way of protecting themselves. But they're not, their opinion uh, is not for discussion at your table. They have their very own table. Some folks that maybe you um, do have at your table, who perhaps have some ideas very different of what you are wanting, and maybe they're giving you some ideas of what you don't want to hear. Um, Say, I don't know, like a sister or a brother or a mother-in-law or a mother. So it's all right to invite them to your table, but it is still okay to say, hey, come to my table. I love and respect you, but I'm just not choosing to listen to that right now. I'm just choosing to do something different. I'm just going on a different path. Um, some folks to always have at your table are those besties, those ones that no matter what, that they've got your back, where you say, hey, I want to try this with parenting, or I want to try this or this, and then maybe it's not typical of what other folks are doing around you. I found that with myself. It was I chose to parent fairly differently than those folks around, like my kids' school and that, the way that they were choosing to parent. And my way was quite different, and my way was actually kind of chosen, I guess, because of my different having some kids with those really big feelings or with different temperaments. And that's the thing, right? Like at your table, those folks that you invite to your table really understand your children's big feelings and really understand their temperaments. Um, so say with that family member, like I said, it's okay to invite them to your table. Thank you, but I think I'm gonna try this, and hopefully that they'll come on board and support. I'm with your bestie that says, okay, let's go, let's rock and roll. What can I do? And also those besties that want to engage in dialogue, right? Like a back and forth about, okay, so have you thought about this and this and this? But in the end, those besties are going to climb on board and say, hey, I gotcha. Let's do this, rock and roll, right? So that's sort of what I mean about inviting folks to your table, and your inner critic. Like I said, invite your inner critic because they're going to show up anyway. They're always going to be around, but it is okay to say to your inner critic, hey, come on over, have a place at my table, but guess what? I'm going to choose not to listen to you right now. I know that you are just trying to protect me and just want me to armor up, but I am going to choose to not listen. So that's sort of what I mean about inviting your inner critic to the table. So I hope that kind of makes sense, and I hope maybe you've got a thing or two to take away from this. And thank you so much for joining me. And again, thank you so much for bringing up those babes. I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye now.